was actually when
I think like.
Hey, gals in the building, people. Deluded, I'm back again. Big up the chat. Big up a gal. We're Premier League champions, brother.
It's happy to see you smiling. You don't have
Can't
to. You don't have to
smiling,
be
my
devil's
guy.
advocate anymore. And yeah,
trust me.
And you know what? One thing I gotta say, people. The name's Deluded Gunner, but he's far from deluded. I always say whenever I do anything where people are speaking, you probably seen me use you an example before on Dan's or any other channel. I always say you're the most balanced Arsenal fan I know. There's a spectrum, and I'll say me on one side, Lee on the other side, you in the middle, and then maybe Dan on one side in the middle, and then like Rory Talks Football on the other side in the middle.
But you know what's so amazing about that, gal? We can all just come together. I hope everyone's just come together because we've effing won the Premier League. I know we got to talk about the Champions League, but after 4 years, well, 3 previous years under Mikel Arteta, 22 years waiting, all of the verbal that we have to deal with, the moving goalposts, and the goalposts aren't going to go away. We've done it. You know, we've done it. For people like me and yourself that are old enough to have seen when we've won a league title, it's a full circle moment as grown individuals and adults. For a lot of Arsenal fans, they haven't seen that. How did it feel, man? Because I'm not going to say it hasn't sunk in now, but I can't tell you when it specifically sunk in. I can't tell you if it was when Bournemouth played City. I can't tell you if it was that Tuesday night I went to the Emirates or the following Sunday or actually Parade. But like, yeah, talk me through it, man. Because, you know, to be fair to you, yeah, Igao has been frontline for Mikel Arteta, Arsenal in totality, but for Mikel Arteta. But everyone knew this season, bro, we had to deliver either the Prem or the Champs. We've done that, yeah, but enough of me talking, man. I need to hear your
thoughts. A weight off your shoulder. It's like you're working with the weight vest and you threw off the weight vest and now you're working out without it. You feel so much lighter. You feel so much better. That's one thing. Another thing, I went into a dark place, bro. After celebrating for a little bit, I just became an evil villain. And I just said, I need to go after every single person. I just need to go after every single person because we've been getting way too much criticism. And I feel like there's a portion of Arsenal fans who are balanced, but are still called delusional because Arsenal didn't win. You know what I mean? And now that we won, it's like, you can't call positive people delusional. You got to look at the people who were negative the whole time and say, yo, you're celebrating with us. Good job. But say it as it is. You're wrong. Or at least put your hands up, be like, he proved me wrong. But if you're going to be wrong and strong, I'm going to have a problem with you. And that's where I started chasing after some of these guys. And then after a couple of days, I said, you know what? I need to go for rivals because you guys call us delusional. Chelsea fans were celebrating like they're going to win the league title.
They were in title races when they drew 1-1 with us, man. But nobody's held accountable. It's just us.
Every season deluded. First 6 games, Tottenham fans, we're the same as Arsenal. Phase 1 of Jose, phase 1 of Conte, phase 1 of Ange, phase 1 of Thomas Frank. We had to cook their ass too. I like Deji, but Deji said we're on the same level defensively start of the season. That
smoking crack. No, we're not.
And then there's Newcastle fans, Aston Villa fans who are coming for us. I'll leave the Villa fans alone, but the Newcastle fans who said they're going to be in the same boat as Arsenal come the end of the season, like Lewis. Like, I'm sorry, they call Arsenal fans delusional, but every other fan base shows their ass this season that they're the delusional ones. And when we're called delusional, we're at the top of the Premier League table challenging for league titles. When you guys are called delusional, you're mid-table or in relegation battles. Have some.
We only won it because of PGMOL, apparently.
You know what? That right there is a sign of denial. They're in the stage of grief where they're still in denial. I've seen them saying that for weeks. You know something? We were in denial. We said, oh, Liverpool only won it because of this or that. I'll put my hand up. I was in denial last season. I couldn't fathom that Liverpool were better than us. But the reality was they were. And we just weren't up to the scratch. City beat us a couple years in a row, and we just accepted it. We said we weren't in denial. We said City's a better team. It was too soon. We lost at the end. We'll come again. Now that we won it, and we lost the Champions League final, I kind of feel like nobody's in denial over the Champions League final. We went to final minutes, And it's like we go again. The people who are trying to rub up salt in our wound as if we have wounds are rival fans. And I love the fact that they keep showing off and try to make themselves look silly. But when they have their own little season reviews, Manchester United fans are giving themselves an 8 for their season. They're trying to say we had a poor season because we didn't win the Champions League. Chelsea fans are giving their season a 5, but they're saying, you know what, we had a good first half.
How on God's green earth can Chelsea give themselves a 5 out of 10? You're 10th. You're 10th after being in a title challenge when you drew 1-1 against us.
I've seen a Tottenham fan say, because we stayed up, we have to at least give ourselves a passing grade for the season. I'm like, sorry? They
don't hold their clubs to the same standards that they apparently hold Arsenal. Sorry for cutting you again.
You know what the worst one is?
It's hypocritical nonsense.
The team that won 2 trophies is the team that's the most disappointed out of the other top 6.
Facts.
Man City seems to be the only one who has those standards where their fans are quiet and they're not really going crazy.
Just getting on with life, yeah.
Yeah, and Spurs fans seems like they celebrated their their promotion or their staying up of the league as if it was a promotion. Like they literally
celebrate harder than us.
Yeah, they were pissed off that the TV got changed to the what do you call it, Crystal Palace ground,
to the celebration.
Well, deluded. I gotta say one more thing.
Go ahead, man. This is why you're here. Say everything you want to say, my boy.
I've been meaning to come on for a while, man. I'm sorry I couldn't come on. Been mad busy, and you've been busy too. I gotta say, deluded. You've been doing your thing. I like to see how you've evolved. Now you're working with Talk Sport, and
appreciate you, my boy.
Right, and it's big things, man. But when it comes to Arsenal, the final thing I'm gonna say is I've now realized there's no point of arguing with people. They're just gonna keep moving the goalpost. So what was I
trying to tell you for years ago? I'm happy you got here. I know it's hard because we love the club, but bro, the goalposts are always gonna move. I already know what they're gonna say now. You won the Prem, you ain't retained it. Champions League, you ain't done this. Now I think I can say this. Yeah, I've seen them do that about Arsenal sides that were better than what we are at the moment. They did it under Arsene Wenger. They did it with Sir Alex Ferguson. They did it with Pep Guardiola. They actually did it with Liverpool. So Arsenal fans, we need to free ourselves from that thinking. Of course, there's football fans, that support all clubs. We can have banter and an honest discussion. Unfortunately, the climate that we're in, Gal, you see it on your YouTube channel and all the other platforms you go at. We definitely see it on bigger platforms. There's no honesty. It's just rage bait, clickbait, engagement hype. And unfortunately, if it's like fishing, innit? If Arsenal fans was a sea and I just throw a fishing row in, I'm always going to get bites from Arsenal fans. So that isn't going to change. We just have to learn to ignore it.
It doesn't work anymore.
We ignored it. Let's ignore it now.
It doesn't work anymore because Jamie Carragher tried to do that going into the Champions League final. No one was going to be... You can't rage bait the Premier League champions. If we keep winning, this era of banter is over for these people, and they need to accept that their club is a banter club or that they're now the team that needs to get over the hill. And until they realize that they're in that situation, they will continue to try to poke fun at us. And 100%. The main reason why people don't like us, bro, let's be honest, Liverpool fans, insecure. Manchester United fans, they haven't won in a long time. Chelsea fans, insecure. They know they're not as big as us. They keep saying they are. They know they're not. It was proven once again when we won the league. Tottenham fans, insignificant. Let's be real. Nobody really looks at them as a big club. They just look at them as a stick to beat Arsenal with. So they beat them up. And then Aston Villa, Newcastle, and these guys, let's be honest, you can have a Champions League in your locker, but nobody's counting you as a big club.
Let's embrace being hated, man. It's time to be villains, man. And that goes for the whole club.
But I couldn't embrace it because I couldn't fathom being such a good team and being hated on. I get it if we were City and we won numerous league titles and you hate us. But for you to shake your ass for the team that won the league 3 out of the last 4 years, to me, is mental. It's mental.
Because all their best friends and family members are Arsenal fans, my boy. And that's why they do it.
This doesn't happen in other sports. In other sports, if a team dominates, people start hating on them. The Warriors, people started hating on them. And even when you call it in football, when a team is doing too good in the Champions League, people start saying, I don't want to see Real Madrid winning the Champions League again. I want to see someone else winning it. But they don't want to see their neighbors winning it. That's what they don't want. So it's crazy. Everyone hates Arsenal simply because they're either jealous or they're insecure or they want something that we have. And right now, that's the reality.
And you know what I like? Because me and you have these conversations all the time. You know, I like young players coming through. I like Wenger ball. I like tiki-taka, all of that kind of crap. I love the fact that we're stinking up the place, doing this defensive thing, and people are crying about it because this is people love to have their cake and eat it. You go back a few years ago, oh, you play pretty football, but you just can't get the job done. You can't get over the line. The football is unsustainable, and Lord knows there's several improvements to make. Yeah. But we've got over the line now. We've got proof of concept. So you see all of these other clubs that say that they're better than us and their players and their manager and this, that, and the other. Just come and get your Premier League back, man. As I've been doing all week ago, yeah. That's like to the rival fans. This is in M5. Just come and get it back. Like, just come and get your medal back. That's it, bro. Like, next season, just come and get us. That's what I want to ask you as well, yeah. Obviously, we've got the Premier League over the line. Under Mikel Arteta, 3 years of, I don't want to say failure, but ultimately falling short in the Premier League. Fourth time lucky, right? On top of everything that the first team's obviously got, we've been fighting for a league title for 22 years. So you've got that weight on your shoulder. If you, like, how do you think that makes us look for next season? Do you feel that weight off their shoulder means that we can go on and win titles now? Or, you know, as an Arsenal fan, like, for example, when we played Bournemouth at home, it was all over. When we played Wolves at home, away from home, sorry, it was all over. When we won certain games, we're going to win. Like, do you think the fan base or the whole football club now is kind of calm in that regards now when we're in title challenges?
We reinvented a different way of winning because numerous teams, not reinvented, we've shown that there's a different way of winning. The formula that has been, you need a top attacker to win you the league every year, is not the formula that we use. We used our defense. We used our rough way of play to get our set pieces. But more importantly, it was a collective. It wasn't one individual. So there isn't a Mo Salah or Rodri or this player or that player you need to fall off. I think even if Rice got injured for a little bit, we could still hold solid as a team.
You know, I never want to see that. I don't know.
Obviously, you don't want to see that.
I'm scared, you know.
Think about it this way. One of our best performances, Rice was injured. Aston Villa at home, 4-1.
True.
So I'm not sitting here saying any one individual is bigger than the sum of the parts. But right now, Saka's been out. Odegaard's been out. Our attack has been poor all season. People have been poking at that. And for us to still win, it goes to show you squad depth is going to win you more league titles nowadays. And it's going to win you more trophies nowadays than having one superstar. And if we can keep improving the squad depth and we can keep improving that attack, sky's the limit. Also, if you go and get a Tonali, you go and get some of these players that we're linked to, that also means come next year when it's Champions League final time, when it's late in the season, we'll be more fresh because we have more options to put out there and more rotation options. And I think this is where football and more sports are going. As sports are getting more and more physically demanding and less about just individual talent and more about the team needing to be outrunning your opponent, being more faster. The pace of every single sport has just gotten so much faster. Watch a game from the 90s. Well. I rewatched the 98 World Cup highlights the other day, every single game, and it took me like an hour and 14 minutes to watch all the highlights. Bro, the game is so much slower compared to now. Everything's just 100 miles a minute.
You've got to be an athlete now.
And this is the reason why players are getting so injured. And this is the reason why Arsenal went the way that we did. We couldn't sign Mbappe. We couldn't sign Haaland. We couldn't sign Yamal. What did we do? We signed 3 or 4 quality players to fill in those positions. In the case that one player is out, we have another. And I think that's where football's going. Man City, go and stock up on your players in the summer. Manchester United, same thing. Every club, just try to stock up on quality players. But if you mess up, you'll get a Gittins and Garnacho and you're screwed.
Hopefully that's not the case, man. You touched on it lightly there, yeah, and I said it in a live stream before. If I was to break our team down into 3 groups, you know what? Big up everybody. Everybody's pulled their weight. If I focus on the attackers, I'd say you had your moments. Like Saka's had his moments this season. You haven't had consistency. Eze's had his moments. Second half of the season's done a lot better. You get where I'm going in it? They've had their moments, but they've not shown that kind of like that level of consistency. But they've all chipped in. I said this on my stream. Yeah, of course I would have loved to have won the league. Guys are getting 20 goal contributions. They're in PFA shouts, but it might not be their best season. Focusing on the attacking unit. It might not be your best individual season, but it's going to be your most memorable because I guarantee you, if we go back to the 2022-23 season, Odegaard would trade that season to win a Premier League. The same goes for Saka, etc., etc. But how vital is it for you, like, that we get this attack, if you do believe such, like, up to standard? Because let's have it right, in it. Our defensive attributes are our strengths, not just our defenders, how we defend as a team. If you were to break it down and say who would kind of be remembered from this team, you probably are going to speak about our 2 centre halves in Saliba and Gabriel, or David Raya and a Declan Rice. So it's like, Do we need to evolve in an attack? Because for me personally, I think somebody like Saka, we just need you to be fit. The quality's there. But I do want to believe in my collective attack. You know, we've backed Gyökeres, he does his thing. We like Eze, but I just need people that can do this for 25, 30 games. Because I think as much as it's on tactics, that is the next step for us to go to the next level, man. But
the meta
where's
of the
your
Premier League,
viewpoints on that?
the meta
Pardon?
of the Premier League, the meta of the Premier League, if you know gaming terms, like they've basically copied Arsenal throughout the league. Majority of the league has been using this physical set piece defensive style, and goals across the entire league has gone down. It's not just Arsenal. The Premier League champion 3 years ago, the Premier League champion 3 years ago was scoring way more goals. But the team that was in relegation 3 years ago was conceding triple the amount of goals that was conceded this season. West Ham got relegated this season with the most points that it took a team to get relegated for in I don't know how long. I think majority of seasons, West Ham would have stayed up with the points that they picked up. If you look at the whole entire Premier League table this past season, it was. Can you pull up the Premier League table from last season if you can?
What, the season that's just gone, yeah?
Yeah, it will really help this discussion, because what happened this past season? What happened this past season compared to previous seasons? It's actually insane when you consider the fact that they said it's a poor season.
Take it away, go.
They said it's a poor season, but look at the points totals and look at how close the parity is in wins, losses, and draws for majority of the teams. And you go even lower down the table. Where do you
want me to stop?
If you go all the way to relegation, you can see that the relegation teams in 18th got 39 points. 9 times out of 10, that's going to keep you out of the relegation zone. Let's be real.
Because they normally say 40 points, you're staying in the league. Well, that's not the case.
So in the case that people are saying this is a weak league and trying to use it as a way to banter Arsenal, I swear, deluded, if you just go back 3-4 seasons and you look at the goals conceded for the teams that are in relegation right now.
Give me a number. Where do you want to go back to?
1 second, just scroll back, go back quickly down to relegation. Let me just see goals conceded, because we know how many goals we scored. So goals conceded, they scored 68. Wolves, right? And then you got West Ham conceded 65. If you go back 3-4 seasons, the team in relegation probably is like Norwich or something, and they're conceding like 15 to 20 more goals on average. Look at that. 84 goals.
Taking you lot to church.
So Norwich and Watford are conceding way more goals. The whole league has gotten easier. It was easier back then because these teams were coming in getting pammed. And look at West Ham would have stayed up with 39 points in that league. You look at the title race. The title race, yes, there was more points, but there was less teams taking points off the title contenders because the teams across the league have gotten harder. The teams across the league have raised their levels. You didn't have Bournemouth and Aston Villa and West Ham, all these guys taking points off title contenders back then. So as much as we look at the table now and say Arsenal won the league,
look where Brentford is, where they lost their manager and got ransacked. Don't let them gaslight you, Arsenal fans.
This was tough. This was one of the toughest league title seasons because every single team has gotten so much better. It's not that Manchester United and Liverpool and Chelsea have gotten worse. No, it's that the teams mid-table and below can give anybody a game any given day, and they can beat anybody on any given day. And that's where, when we say this is one of the toughest leagues, I don't know if you can.
The most competitive league out of the top 5 divisions. Let's have it right.
You won't see this parity anywhere else.
Exactly. There's no margin for error. And like you kind of alluded to, yeah, obviously Arsenal's record this season weren't the greatest against the top 6. But normally people think, oh, the top 6. It's Bournemouth away, let alone at home. Bournemouth basically won us the title. You know, you get where I'm going. It's the Bournemouths, it's the Sunderlands, it's the Brightons, it's Brentford who lost Thomas Frank and all of their players. It's them kind of games that F it up. Do I think the Premier League is the most entertaining? No. But the margins for error and the competitiveness has never been like this before, and people are going to be dishonest. Like, I don't really care if they feel this is a mad competitive league or not, but you'd have to be an idiot to deny there's no margin for error. And then even that, yeah, if they do want to say, oh, the standard of the league is poor and all of this kind of crap, girl, let's disregard Arsenal for a second, yeah? Bearing in mind, Man United lost to Grimsby in August or September, with top 4 seemed a fallacy. It seemed like a dream. Where are they now? Go and look at Liverpool at the start of the season to now. Aston Villa, you know, they started kind of slow, you know, done their thing, dropped off a bit. They've gone back there. There was a point, Bournemouth should maybe even be disappointed that they're not in the Champions League. Sunderland the same. So people like to have their cake and eat it, man. People are genuinely.
Bro, if you go back to the 100-point season, I think that was 2020 or 2019. Was it 2019 or 2018?
Admittedly,
the year before that, I think it was the year before that. Was it the year before that?
Yeah, it was 2018, surely. Oh, no. Someone in the chat help us. What year was that?
Look at the points total Liverpool and Man City are getting.
That's 98.
Look at the rest of the league. The rest of the league is not.
That's what I'm saying.
Nowhere near that.
We missed out on top 4 by a point.
The rest of the league is nowhere near those levels. So people are saying, oh, you're not as good as Liverpool City back then. Liverpool City back then, if you look at the teams in relegation, these teams were nowhere near as good as the teams now.
And plus, who cares? We won the league.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just
throwing that out there for people.
This is some of the agendas that people are throwing out there. The league, depending on how you view it, if you want to view it based on the top 2 teams getting the most points totals, yeah, those 2 are competitive, but the rest of the league was nowhere near to the levels of this season.
People are just dishonest, but you know what it is, y'all? A lot of people just can't hold the L, you know. Like a lot of people, and I think a lot of people are genuinely dishonest because they had to delete their drafts. Cool, we didn't win the Champions League, Champions of Europe. You can go and do that, but they thought it was the same script of the last previous years, where Arsenal bottle. You know the drafts that come out. They had to eat humble pie. A lot of people don't want to hear it. I'm a big fan. Have you
spoken to that Fulham fan from Talk Sport? Yeah,
he's ducking me. To be fair, he's apologized. He even apologized to win the dog, but he is ready and waiting to talk nonsense. As I told them on TalkSport, when it was Jermaine Pennant, Abby Summers, and Harry that you're talking about, when they were like, this happened again, I said, listen, I hope for you lot's sake that I'm not here in May celebrating, because I knew what time it was. I knew we was going to go and win. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I believed we could win. Bournemouth at home, Wolves away. I was like, oh, Arteta, I don't know what's going on. And I have to big up our players, because April wasn't kind to us and isn't kind to us. They locked in. And at the end of the day, you finish 7 points clear of City. So hindsight's a wonderful thing, innit? But it does make you sit there and go, ooh, like there was never any race. And people can sit there and say what they want about Pep Guardiola. Certain teams that are quote unquote the biggest club in the land didn't, in Pep Guardiola's 10 years, you didn't finish above him and you didn't win a league title while he dumped a treble in your head. So a moral of the story is, before you come and look at our pot of rice, please look at your own, because yours is burning. But back to Arsenal Football Club. Go on, Nigel. Go on.
Cook them. Now, too many people overcooked their rice when we beat Man City. You're right.
Exactly.
When Man
City, I remember when we battered them 5-1, yeah, not that we beat them this year. When we beat them 5-1, we got a lot of nonsense. And even that, I give my players credit, yeah, because I don't think we performed to our standards in the League Cup. I spoke to you the last time about how we played Man City at the Emirates. I think they were there for the taking.
Yeah, you can't celebrate. You didn't win the league.
Yeah, exactly. I was more vexed with Mikel Arteta. And then at the Etihad, I did like the approach, but ultimately we didn't win. And then you factor in, do you remember when they beat Chelsea and Haaland, the camera panned to Haaland and he's doing all of this and he's getting excited and whatnot? I did think it's going to go left. But that's the thing. They call us arrogant. And I like arrogance. But if we did a lot of what City did, they'd be on to us. Cherky, he's crying against Bournemouth. He's not doing kick-ups and whatnot anymore.
Hamza and the bottle guy selling bottles outside the stadium. Madness. Listen, I don't believe in karma.
Even the bottle guy turning off his comments. I don't believe in
karma, but they got what they deserve.
You reap what you sow in this world, man. That's something I wanted to ask you as well, yeah. Like, because this might not make sense to you, innit? Like, obviously, I think there's a lot of things that are working in Arsenal's way, in it. For once in our lives, we're seeing, you know, the Cronkies, the fans, the players, the manager. We're all in the same kind of boat. We're all pulling together in the right direction, which a few years ago around the Super League or historically during Cronky's time, we would have said that's foolishness, innit? I think if you look at our rivals and whatnot, we've got a lot of stability. We've got a lot of things in our favor. I look at this positively and negatively. I like Xabi Alonso, and they've not got Europe. I don't know what Xabi Alonso is going to do at Chelsea. Areola's a good manager. I don't know how that's going to work at Liverpool. I don't know Carrick with his full season. Man City will still be up there, but fundamentally, you've lost a generational manager in Pep Guardiola. So in my mind, this is now where the fun starts, where I think everybody could kind of win the league, in which you could say it's an advantage for Arsenal because we've won the league, we've got stability, we know the gaffer's going to be here, there's elements of the unknown, or you could look at that with a disadvantage. So it's like, how do you look at the other kind of clubs, like the traditional title contenders in comparison to us, with one eye on next season as much as you can, because there's still a lot of things that need to be decided before the next season comes into place. Because I don't even know who's top 4. I know we're going to be top 4, but I couldn't even do that with you right now.
I don't want to be cocky. I don't want to be an asshole, but catch us if you can. That's all I got to say. Because I do think when it comes down to it, as a fan base, we're going to be a little bit more calm. If it's Man United, they're going to freak out after every result. If it's Man City, they don't got pep. They're not going to have the same level of trust. And I look at that Man City team, and I don't see the winners, you know. When Rodgers was doing his interview, and he had Nico Gonzalez next to him saying, I think we're favorites, you know, but they were level on points. Rodgers kind of looking at him like, yo, you can't say that, chill. Right? After Doku scores a couple goals or Semenyo scores a couple goals, they're doing interviews, doing all this madness. It kind of gave me Zinchenko vibes. It kind of gave me Zinchenko with Rio Ferdinand vibes. It kind of gave me Zinchenko versus Rio Ferdinand vibes. These guys are doing a lot of talking, where before they were just about business, and our players are the ones that just are about business, and they're not doing all that talking. And the media couldn't understand or fathom that roles were reversed this season. They were the ones that dropped points. They were the ones that constantly couldn't win games. They're the ones that constantly were not getting results. And
we opened up the door and never took advantage.
But yet everyone keeps saying, Arsenal, bro, they were 2 points behind us in January. We made it a 9-point lead. Well, then people said you threw away a 9-point lead, but we won the league by 7 points. So who really threw away what? I really don't.
We opened up the door. They didn't exploit it, bro.
I don't really think people realize that they keep talking about Man City this, Man City that. Everyone says the title race starts in April. So why are you holding Arsenal to the standards of a title race starting in September?
Because agendas don't need common sense, my boy. Agendas don't come with common sense.
Now that we've won the league, I hope that we can have real football conversations and we no longer just run to agendas, because the agendas were doing too much of the agendas were doing way too much of the lifting this season, and we are going to be hated on. But I do think this is our era of success. I think we go on to win the league again next season. I think we go on to be in another final next season. Don't forget, we could have won a treble this year. We were in a cup final, we lost. We're in a Champions League final, we lost. And people were so celebratory that we lost those two, but we still won the league. Every single step of the way, Deluded, there has been a underwhelming end to the season, even though there's been improvement. We won the league this season, but it's still slightly underwhelming for the people who wanted everything. We couldn't get everything. We got something. Next season, I want 2. I want at least the league and a domestic trophy. Or if you can bring me a Champions League, great. But the way this project ends, in my opinion, is you keep going with this squad, keep strengthening this squad, keep adding pieces to this squad, and you try to sustain dominance. We win the league this season. We win the league next season. We challenge for the Champions League, challenge for the cups, get better squad depth, and we continue to grow. And eventually it's going to get to a point where people are going to look at us as the new Man City or the new Manchester United. This is what I want.
You really think, where do you look at? Obviously, you ain't got a crystal ball in it. Premier League, expectations lead to disappointments. But based on what the question I asked you and what we were just talking about with what the other teams need to do, I see no reason why we can't retain this. I know that will be on the agenda. Obviously, I want to see us go from being a great defensive side to higher levels, improving attack, all that kind of jazz. The Champions League, though, obviously, there's been trajectory in it. Like, we got first season under Mikel Arteta in the champs, we got to the quarters against Bayern. We've been to the semis. We've been to the final. Fair enough, it's the league phase, but we've shown we're a competitive side in Europe. Both Madrid sides, a couple of times against PSG. We've shown that year in, year out. You will always say the favourites for the Champions Leagues currently are PSG. You will throw Real Madrid and Bayern, but we're kind of there. So I do think that trajectory is there. But then again, I'm not going to lie. I do think to a degree, on occasion, when you're in a Champions League final, bro, I feel like it's one where you've got to seize the moment. I have said, yeah, for me, I think the players have got to win me a Champions League. Obviously, both work hand in hand. If I look at the football in Europe, it's good enough to get us to a final. It's good enough to get us to a point. But I do think you need individuality. I do think that final raised that kind of thing.
Did that final feel like the beginning of something or the end of something? Because for me, it felt like the beginning of something. I looked at Declan Rice smiling.
I can't convince. If you was to ask me, are we going to win the Premier League next season? I'll hold my L fully with chest. Yo, we're going to win that. I'll go as far as to say Premier League, that's in the bag. Arteta, don't let me down. FA Cup, League Cup, one of them. So I back you with the treble thing. The Champions League, I do expect to go to the latter stages, but I can't 100% tell you we're going to be in that final. If I'm completely honest,
I agree with you.
I think something's got to change for us
let me
to get
just
over
say
that
this.
line, bro.
Do you see us evolving our game and playing a little bit more dominant?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Do you see
it needs
us
to change in Europe in a
do you
final.
see us being better at managing our squad depth and having our players fresher in the latter ends of the season? That's important.
That's a good point, and that's something we need to do. No, at this moment in time, because we literally haven't signed anyone. I'll be looking at the Declan Rices, the Salibas, the Gabriels, who've had a lot of football and going to be playing at the World Cup. Obviously, if you get somebody in that allows us to rest the Rices, etc., that's another thing actually off topic. I'll big up our players because they've all put their bodies on the line. If you could do that, great. I don't want to be that guy, but you need a lot. Have you seen Pep Guardiola's comments about the final? I think he's bang on. I think a lot needs to go for you. A lot did go for us to get to that final, but I think you need players to be fresh. I think you need your attackers in a better moment. Like if we had the informed Saka, Eze playing to a standard, whatever have you. I think you need all of these kind of things. And I also go back to what I said in that. I think the players need to go win you the champs. Now, people are going to be a bit stupid, innit? Of course, I want more expansive football. But if you wanted expansive football, you're either a PSG fan or you're a rival. We cannot go gunshot for gunshot with them in that attacking sense.
I'm not saying
what. Go on.
Arteta said we need to improve our individual actions and improve our ability.
That's what I'm alluding to, and he's bang on. But that comes from him and his players.
That is the next stage of evolution that I'm looking for.
But he has to facilitate that.
Yeah, he does. As for what we're going to do next season, we're just going to be guessing here. But what we can predict is that where we think we will improve. And I do think where we improve is our squad, and we improve in our attack. Those are two things that I'm hoping
they're going to be on us next season. We are going to. I think we're going to get marked close. We're going to get marked a lot harsher in England because of the whole rhetoric around us. I think we really do need to look after a couple of these players with their minutes. I'll be interested to see how Mikel Arteta evolves, because on one hand, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Obviously, everybody tries to score from set pieces, and as you can see with various stats, the ball's in play less, it's all mid and low blocks. People are just vexed that Arsenal are good at it. In fact, better yet, a lot of teams are good at it. We're fucking great at it. We're not going to stop that. I don't want that to change, but we do need to facilitate the attack. So if I say, like, if I just put out of 10, our defense is 10 out of 10 and our attack is 6 out of 10. Maybe if we drop from being a 10 out of 10 side for argument's sake in defense, that might raise it. But again, Miguel, I can't lie. I think a part of it is Arteta with his tactics. I do think a bunch of it is on the players. And if I'm honest with you, I'm greedy now. Like, respectfully to Noni and these kind of signings, we need some ballers now, man, because I
love my graphics, right?
Pardon?
I love my graphics, right? Let me show you this.
Get your graphics out, man.
I seen a graphic yesterday that was pretty cool, and you're probably gonna like it.
Run it, man. Run it. Share the link. I'll pull it up. Or how do I let you share the screen?
Let me see if I can get it first. So basically, what is everyone tell me right now, if you were to guess, what do you think the best season under Mikel Arteta is statistically?
In what regards, though? Like scoring goals?
Defensively and offensively.
Defensively, I actually think it might be 23-24, back end of that season. I think it might be that. Offensively, statistically, we probably scored more goals in other years, but from my eye test, I've got to say 2022-23.
Okay. So I have a graphic here, shows every season under Mikel Arteta, and you're going to like this. And I'll send it to you if you need it also for another show.
No, look, yeah, you could do it.
So this is the graphic.
People, let us know if you want to go to zoom in, by the way, while you're speaking, but take it away.
Yeah. So hopefully everyone can see this. It shows you the year. It shows you where we finished, points, possession, goals. And what I want to show you is this season defensively, we have been by far our best ever season defensively. So our attack has not been nowhere near as good as 2023, 2024.
Clearly.
And has not been as good as 2022, 2023. But where we made up for our attack not being as good has been in chance creation. We've created way more chances this season than we did in those other seasons. We were just more clinical in those seasons.
Depends where these chances are coming from, though, man. Like, they're coming from open play, or they've been generated by set pieces. Who is that doing that? How many games? I don't know, man.
It might be long shots. Because we've taken way more long shots.
But go on.
Yeah. But my main point is 2023, 2024 season is actually on balance our best season under Mikel Arteta. And you're right. Attacking wise, we were our best. Points totals, we were our best. Attacking stats, we were our
got that
best.
one right.
Disciplinary was actually our third best after this season and his 2023, 2020.
No penalties or red cards this season. That's just gone. A movie. That's not going to be the case next year. They've got our number marked.
We didn't have any red cards in 2022, 2023 either.
Big us up for that.
Yeah. But then we went on to have 2 seasons where we had 8 red cards back to back. It was a mad thing. But my main point is the defense is what won us this league. If we were to have won the league in 2023, 2024, it would have been our attack that helped us win that league title that year, even though our
defense should have more than one title, man, but it's timing.
Right? And then we just weren't up the level last year. But the 2022, 2023 season where everyone says is our best season, statistically it's not even our top 3. I mean, it's not our top 2. I mean, it's third. So this is I wanted to show this because I feel like a lot of people look down on this season attacking wise. Yes, it wasn't great. It wasn't better than those 2 seasons, but those 2 seasons were a new outfit. For this to be our 4th year of challenging for the league and to be still able to do what we've done, credit to them, man.
I wanted to ask you as well. Yes, it's on topic but off topic. Like, how do I make it? Do you feel we owe the Cronkies an apology? Because I listen. At some point, they were public enemy number 1. Now I think they deserve their flowers. Like, look what they've done, or what they facilitated. Better yet,
I feel like I don't. I've been after speaking with George a couple years ago when Josh took over. I kind of said, you know what? I don't judge Josh for what Stan's done. I don't judge Josh for how Stan was running the club. I view them as 2 different individuals. And ever since Josh Kroenke has taken charge of the KSC sports situation, they've won everything. They've won in the NBA. They've won in the NFL. They're gonna probably win again this season in the NFL with how good they've gotten, getting the Van Dijk of the NFL basically, and with all their major sports teams looking so competitive, it was just about time where Arsenal start doing it. And I don't think they're gonna rest. I think they're just gonna keep trying to go. And if an Mbappe or something comes like that, I don't think the Cronkies are going to shy away from going and trying to get the best in any sport.
Don't you think we need one of them? Like, obviously, I'm not saying specifically Mbappe, but aren't we approaching that scenario where we might need a Maverick or Mavericks?
It's not there yet. But what we also have to remember is some of these Mavericks might not necessarily suit the Premier League. I know Mo Salah performed well in the Premier League and he's like small, diminutive. But say if we did get any player from across Europe, what's the guarantee that they perform the same level in the Premier League?
Fair.
So right now, I have, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying everything the club do is correct, but whenever they do something, I'm not going to melt down and go crazy. I'm just going to back it for a little bit because they earned the trust from me to back their decisions and to back that they're making the right decisions. Even Noni Madueke, who people do not rate, the fact that we won the league title in such a close manner, you cannot deny that he did help us in some of those.
He's done his piece. Every one of those players played their part. Like every one of those played their part.
No, but I was on a show the other day, and they're like, Nani didn't help us win the league. Factually, every player helped us win this league title.
Every player did their thing.
And especially if you scored or assisted in a game where we won, you helped us get a crucial point to help us win the league. I could name 2 games right off the top of my head in the league where he stepped up. Nottingham Forest at home, he was one of the man of the matches, and he didn't even get a goal and assist. Leeds away, he put in a great shift. And even though we dropped points to like a team like Brentford, he scored the goal, the only goal in the game.
Well, they all played their part, but you know how it goes, Miguel, man. Like, people are gonna start acting like everybody's not just part of this team. In the same way, if we failed, you all fell together. You all won together, man. Like, it's simple as that. And I have to big up every one of those players. Me, I'm gonna have more. I got love for everyone, but I am gonna give extra love to the Ryers, the Salibas, the Gabriels, when fit, the Timbers, the Rices, because I feel you lot pulled your weight in it. I do think the attack pulled their weight, but I think there was a point where our defenders had to do their job. But they all got over the line. At the end of the day, they're all in history. 2025, 26, you've got us over the line. And for someone like Noni, I love it. I love these antics at the parade. I didn't want Noni to sign for our football club, but one thing I didn't like in August or whenever we signed him last summer was the whole petition. I think you need to get right behind him. And to be fair, I do think while Noni's not perfect, to be fair, I do think very quickly, I won't say he won us over, but a lot of people just said, you know what, we accept you for what you are kind of thing. Let's just kind of keep it moving. I will say this, Mikel, though, with the greatest of respect to Noni Madueke, less of them signings now. We need Trip now. We're so close to doing something mad. And we need to, innit? Like, I need a serious left winger, I need a serious centre mid. If Ben White goes, get me a defensive reinforcement. Hot take, maybe a striker. And then I'm loving it. And get the existing players into form. I wanted to ask you about our new signings, or I say new signings from last season, yeah? Where do you rank Eze and Gyökeres out of 10 for their first year, first of all?
Eze, Gyökeres. I'll give them both.
Like, what would be your score out of 10?
I'll give them both 8s. I feel like playing it safe would be giving them a 7, but I'll give them above a 7 because Gyökeres is our leading goal scorer for a title-winning side, and they single-handedly carried us in like 5 games. So we don't win the league title without either of them. They did a good enough job where they get an 8 for me. I think 9 would be immaculate, exceptional, and 10 would be like one of the best ever in our club's history. So the way I would put it, I think 8 is good. I think 7 is just slightly above average. And then I think 6 and 5 is like average.
What would you put Noni's?
Noni, slightly above average. I would say 7.
Oh, what? Noni the same as Eze and Gyökeres, you guy. You're losing me.
No, Gyökeres and Eze got what do you call it?
You gave them 7s, innit? Or did I
gave them 8s.
Oh, fair. All right, cool. No, that's my bad. I'm not listening. All right, cool.
Noni Madueke, he's a backup. 5. He's a backup. It's tough to come into a game every single time after 45, 60 minutes or filling in for Saka when he's injured. And for his role, he might not have scored a lot of goals, might not have assisted a lot. But in Europe, in the cup games, he was a big part of why we got
probably
so far.
Scored our goal of the season. Some would say, that Club Brugge goal is up there with a lot of the bangers we scored.
I think
give
people
him a 5-6 for me.
I think people don't rate players because they don't do what Olise is doing, but that's exceptional. You can't expect every player to be doing that.
Fair. Where are you at with Hincapié? Because a lot of people didn't want a left back. For me, I'd give him an 8. I think he's been solid, if I'm honest with you. Maybe even higher. I think he's a warrior. I'm very impressed with Hincapié.
Second half of the season, Hincapié is one of the main reasons why we won the league title. I think he gets a rating better than Victor Gyökeres and Eze. I would put him in 9. I think he's been exceptional. I think if he did what he was doing from the beginning of the season, he would have a shot for left back of the season. But Nico O'Reilly's been better.
I hear that. And the thing is with Hincapié, for me, it's just he's a warrior. You're never going to be the most flashy on the ball, even though sometimes I think he's put some good balls into the box and no one's taking advantage. But I've got a lot of time for him. But with him, Calafiori, if need be, Lewis Skelly, it's obviously lit. We'll talk about Lewis Skelly in a sec. I got to ask you about the Spanish youths then, man. Mosquera and Zubamendi, because I think Zubamendi, obviously, he's fallen off a cliff in the second half of the season, and thank the Lord for Lewis Skelly. But I think one thing that's gone against Zubi is he's done the reverse Gyökeres and Eze in that their seasons they had to grow into their season. Zubamendi started life at Arsenal very good, and then second half of the season he's kind of burned out. And I do think there's a lot of, if I'm honest, recency bias. You're allowed to say you don't think he's better than Partey. You're not convinced with Zubamendi because there was a lot of hype, but people are trying to act like he wasn't one of our signings of the season. Like, he was in those conversations, and I do think he needs to toughen up a bit. I do think there's more to come, but I'm very happy, man. I'd give him an 8. Honestly, if he continues
based on expectations,
it'd be 9.
Based on expectations, he has to get. Based on his expectations, he's gonna get below Noni for me.
Below Noni Madueke.
I know that's harsh, but because of his expectations, and by the end of the season, in the crunch time when we needed to win the title, he was on the bench. You have to give him a 6.
You don't think he was right? Okay, I hear that, but you don't think he was running to the ground? He's had his statistical best goal scoring season. Statistically, while we're not happy with him and Rice and Zubi, that midfield is actually working. He saved us in plenty of games. He can't be lower rated. I get you with the expectation, you're right. But no way is he lower.
I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7.
Fair. Who else there? Mosquera. I'll give him a 10. Isolated to his expectations and what you've had to do. People could talk about the pen. Mosquera, I like what I see from you, you know. You've been a big part player, respectfully, but 8. I like what I see. I'll give you 10, 8. Man. Fair. Kepa, Norgard.
Kepa gets a 5. Norgard, didn't really play much. I'll give him a 3.
Feel sorry for Norgard, man, but like it is what it is. I don't think
He
I'm
picked
missing
up a
anyone
Premier League
else.
medal, bro. This might be his last ever like major opportunity to do this.
But him and Kepa, who I think Kepa and Norgard, I think they're gonna leave. You got a Premier League you can cut out. Like last season, I keep saying last season. Obviously, I'm not referring to the one that's just done. You lot were first names on the team sheet, so I do think you lot are gonna leave so you can go play football. But as you just alluded to, bro, you've won the Premier League. You've been in 1-2 finals. You can leave with your head held high. You know, I respect it, man. You can go do your thing. What would you give Mikel Arteta?
Oh, you got to give Mikel a 9. I think we're not as good as we are because of individual players. We're as good as we are because the manager has everyone playing as a unit. Let me remind you guys of that crazy video where he has the duck/rabbit behind him. I really do think the whole team is looking at that picture and just sees a duck. They don't see the rabbit because they all work together. They see the same picture. And that's down to the manager. And I think his analogies and how he's worked, I call him a genius for a reason. I think he's a footballing genius. And we've seen what he said. We've seen what he said. We've seen what he done this season. And he had a team that a lot of people felt had no right being in these positions, winning the league title in the fashion that we did and getting to a Champions League final.
People need to appreciate we got the best manager excluding Pep and Luis Enrique. I'll be honest with you.
And bro, he had PSG, who's considered the best team in Europe, a penalty kick away from losing the Champions League final.
That's the next step for Arteta because I need us to be on the right side of those fine margins, especially in Europe. Arteta, 99.9% of what you're doing, I like, you know. If I had to nitpick, try to keep people fit, you know, put the handbrake down sometimes, rotate the side, do what you need to do in an attacking sense. Other than that, bro, we're on course to do. I don't want to talk too much and get excited, but we are on course to do great stuff. And for me, during this Emirates lifetime, I look at the way we're talking about the players, about Berta, about Arteta, about Josh Kroenke, as you said earlier. This is everything we wanted. Like the legacy of Arsene Wenger with pumping Haaland out. We've got money to sign players. You know, all of these kind of things. It's just, there's no words, man. Was you at the parade?
Yeah.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Surreal, bro. Surreal, amazing. Where was you stood? Because I was on Holloway Road, Seven Sisters. I was everywhere, to be fair.
I was south of Finsbury Park, just when they're about to do the turn.
You might have been Highbury Fields, you know.
1 second. Let me check Arsenal parade. You know, I don't know the area too well.
I big up Stricto. He's in the comments. I see him 2 days in a row, man. He was loving it. I saw bare people.
Parade, Blackstone Road. Just when they're about to turn.
What, Blackstock Road?
Let me show you. I got the parade route in front of me. This is it right here.
Let's find it interesting. All right, let's see.
So they turned from Seven Sisters.
Zoom in a tiny bit.
That's the best I can do.
Oh, so you're just off Blackstock Road, basically.
I'm right here.
Fair play. So I was everywhere, but I would have been on the
I was with Dan Potts,
Big up
Brandon, who else was there? Hooks was there, and
Big up Hooks.
And
you know what's so funny?
How we all got together. And you know the Arsenal girl, Yash, what's her name? Little Mix or something like that. I forget her name.
You'd have to show me, nah. But you know what's so funny? All them names you said there, all view Arsenal very differently, all similar in certain aspects, all fucking celebrating. Like, all celebrating. We want to tie a trophy.
Arteta
this
said
is what this club needed, bro. Pardon?
I swear Arteta recognized me.
I mean, to be fair, he's probably been sent hell of your content, man. Even me on TalkSport, I'm so happy with the boys because I genuinely thought we was going to win the league, as I said. But there was a point I thought, have I gone too far to turn back? I need my boys to get it done. And they came in clutch, man. For all of us that defend this club, there is an element of, I can't defend certain things. I need us to get over the line. Like I've been saying, we're a competitive side. Are we a winning side? You've ticked that one off. In Europe, you're a competitive side. Are you a winning side? It is what it is, man. We've been to 2 finals. We won the Premier League. There's so many things we could have learned. There's, nothing was perfect. And that's what excites me the most, because people move like Arsenal are the only team that's everyone's going to get better and we're just going to stand still. If we have won the league when our attack hasn't been the best, people have been injured, a level of consistency, maybe Arteta doesn't want to change anything. Maybe he's wanted to change things, but he's had this approach of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What the hell do you think is going to happen in the 2026-27 season? Use your common sense, man. But they're hating.
You can't see it because it's chopped off.
Do you know what's mad? Yeah, you show me the red mist. I can feel it on my face again. I can take that. Them flares are horrid.
You can't see his head. Can you see his head?
No.
Bro, I was too excited in the moment. I couldn't even record it properly. But look at him. Tapped his chest. He's like, yo, what up?
Well, tell him to get your jobs part of the coaching stuff.
You see that, right? He's looking right at me.
He's on bench. It does look like he's looking at you, you know.
My G. I was like, yo, Dan and these guys are like, yo, Arteta said what up to you. He recognized you.
Did Dan hide his face? But
yeah,
I never said that about you, Gaffer, man. A man said that Lee Gunner there. This guy.
And he started waving at other people. It was nice.
I don't know if Lee was at the parade or not, to be fair with you. I'd imagine he was. What Arsenal fan wouldn't be at the... Everybody and their dog had to have been at that parade.
Man was in Spain, bro. He shows up. Bro, there was a drunk guy next to me cussing Lee Gunner. He's like, tell Lee Gunner he's a C word. I'm like, what?
Nah, leave me alone, man. I can't lie. Did you go on the Tuesday as well? Because I'm not going to lie, gal, yeah. The parade was great. It definitely was. But I feel the Tuesday we won the league, like when obviously Bournemouth took a point of City, that will stay with me for life. You know, I think that
I was in Reading. I was in Reading and I was driving home. I was thinking, should I just go to London? I couldn't do it because I had work at like 4:30 in the morning.
I don't think anything.
And plus, how was it driving down there? Imagine driving down there.
You're gonna have to leave your car a couple miles away, bro. It's a myth. It's a myth. It's an absolute myth, man.
Yeah.
It's a myth. But that's the moments we want. And this is, you know what, yeah, whether it was the Tuesday I just spoke about, the parade, the Sunday or whatever, ultimately, this is what football's about, innit? Like, me and you could agree on things, disagree on things, the manager the same, the club the same. But that shared moment across those 2 weeks, that's why we're in the business of it.
I like the video with you and Rance where you're chilling there with your shirt off, just making fun of him.
Bro, I told Rance, yeah, I love Rance to bits, but I told him, regardless, there's a parade in May. I said, I don't know what we're going to win. There's 4 opportunities. We are getting a parade in May because I genuinely believed. And that's probably why I've been a lot more boys.
I don't understand why he keeps saying we need to humble ourselves. We won the league. What are you humbling?
Nah, man, we're not humbling. We're not humbling. We've had to take bullshit for years. The game's the game. They're moving the goalposts. I'm not on that. I told, man, that we are going to win. For me, I just felt, and I've probably been a bit more boisterous on my own channel when I've collabed with Rants, definitely when I've gone on TalkSport, because I do think as Arsenal fans, we've been too humble. Like, we've been far too humble. And I think this season we have to say, nah, fuck it. They're going to talk anyways, but at least they have to shut up when we won the title and we got over the line in the end. I'm convinced we retain it. Obviously, as the summer, let alone the season progresses, down to us. We've got a target on our back. So it kind of is what it is. Again, I wanted to ask you something. Go on.
There's a regular on my channel called Netweed. He probably comes on your channel too. He's always telling me, yo, chill. Arteta's never going to win, this and that. Egal, stop saying positive things. Don't predict a 3-0 win. Now we're going to lose. I'm like,
now be humble.
Calm down. It's not about... Let us just be fans. Let us enjoy our team how we want to enjoy it. We're not telling you to not be negative. So just stop telling us not to be positive. I think celebrate people who back their team and believe in their team, and start. If you're gonna start policing people, start policing people who are abusive and cuss their own fans and their own players. Man. Those are the people who need policing, not the people who are positive. Because I feel like there's way too much policing in football fandom about people who are positive, and there's not enough people calling out the negative. The negative seems to be celebrated.
Why can't people just have to? You can be as positive as you want, as negative as you want, as long as you can say, I got this wrong. It's balanced. Like, I don't like people that kind of what you're saying. I don't like people that police people's opinions. If that's how you see the game, that's how you see it. Which, if that's, like I said, if that's honestly how you see the game, that's fair enough. Agendas and people saying things they don't necessarily believe and the whole shit joke stuff, I ain't referring to that. But I'm not being funny. I grew up with football like this. There's people, you get everybody, you get people that are mad positive, like it's raining, they're telling you the sun's gonna shine. You've got people that are a bit indifferent and can be as positive or as negative, like me, as far as I could, like my eyes can see. You've got different kind of people, and I think life would be boring, let alone football, if we all felt the same way, man. And that's the jarring thing. We just need to honestly keep going. I know we've got about 6 minutes ago, yeah. So I want to ask you some quick fire questions type of thing, yeah. First one, can Arsenal actually defend the Premier League title, or does history say no? Because history isn't kind to us defending the title.
We won't know until April based on what everyone tells us. But I really do think we're the best set up team to challenge for the league. And I don't think there's a better manager than Arteta in the league. So, yes.
Okay. Next one. Should Arsenal be spending big on a striker or continue to trust Kai Havertz or Gyökeres?
Trust Kai Havertz and Gyökeres because whichever way you put it, I don't think there's too many elite strikers out there that can just join us right away. And I think Kai Havertz is underappreciated.
I mean, it's quite obviously he scored in the Champions League final. It's a shame we didn't win, but
look at what he does in the World Cup. Wait for it.
Yeah. And I think it was great that he scored against Burnley. Saying that though, what if a bid from Bayern Munich came in of, let's just say, for argument's sake, 70-odd million quid?
We'll regret it.
Are you doing that for? You're not selling him?
We'll regret it.
Fair. Do Arsenal actually need both Morgan Rodgers and Gibbs-White, or is one enough?
We only need one, and I would get Morgan Rodgers. Gibbs-White, not necessarily a great player in my opinion. I don't rate him as much as some of the players we currently have. I don't think he comes into our team and improves us that much. Where Morgan Rodgers, he has that X factor ability to score from distance, and he scored a lot of goals like that. Literally, Aston Villa, part of the reason why they're doing so well is because he's overperforming his XG to a ridiculous level. Like, have you seen the charts? He's in a different area of the chart, like so far off in the corner that it's unbelievable. Like shots to goals ratio
I love
shots to expected goal ratio, his expected goal ratio is somewhere else. Like, it's not even normal.
On the Morgan Rodgers thing, yeah, like, for me, I've said this before. I know he can play centrally. I think long-term he could be an 8. I know he could play off the right. With the greatest of respects to the Rafa Leaos, the Nico Williams, I know we can't get Gordon, but Gordon, Rashford, all of these left wingers. I'm not saying I wouldn't have them. I'm not saying they wouldn't be good. I'm just saying none of them 100% convinced me. Now, I say that to say this. I have been saying on my channel, and it was a bit tongue-in-cheek, we might as well just put the bag down for Morgan Rodgers, because in my mind, he can play off that left and thrive off that left. But then, I wanted to bounce this off you, like, what do you think Morgan Rodgers means for the future of Odegaard? Because now you've got Eze and Odegaard, both can play off the left, both can play centrally. You'd imagine Kai and Odegaard in the next year, because they got 2 years left, there's probably a case for a new deal. They're on big wages. And even you could argue, what does that make for Nwaneri? But like, yeah, how would you picture all of that?
Ethan's on his way out, in my opinion. On loan or sale.
It's looking that way.
On loan or sale, Odegaard and Havertz, they're not necessarily going anywhere. Guys, we're improving this quality of the squad. We're basically taking Trossard and replacing him with Morgan Rodgers. That's an upgrade.
Fair. So you think Trossard leaves ahead of Martinelli?
I don't want Martinelli to go. We sell Martinelli to Bayern, he'll replace a lot of the numbers that they're missing from Elise or Diaz.
What was I gonna say to you as well? Where are you at on Barcola? Where are you at on Barcola and Kroupi?
I think Barcola is a quality player. Kroupi's too overvalued. Makes no sense. They're basically trying to scam somebody. I don't think he's a bad player. I don't think he's a bad player. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think price is overvalued because he's performed so well at such a young age. They're trying to strike where the iron's hot. There's no evidence to say that he's going to replicate what he did last season in any other team. And also there's no evidence to say that he wouldn't. But right now, if I was to play, if I'm signing players, I want players with scope to grow, but I also want players who've proven it, that have played across multiple competitions. Kroupi has never played in the Champions League, has never played 50 games in a season, has never competed in European games, has never played in the Premier League for more than one season. Morgan Rodgers, for me, I'll take him. As for Barcola also has the strength and ability to grow. He's been the top goal scorer for a team that's won league titles. He knows what the pressure is like. I just feel like you have much more. We're currently in a state where we cannot go and start looking at young players because they're exciting and they're in the Premier League. Sometimes those young players are big fish in small ponds, but then they go to a big pond and they don't necessarily.
I hear you, but I don't think that's Kroupi, you know.
I don't want to take the risk. I
hate that because they're talking 80, 100 million.
You leave Kroupi at Bournemouth, or he goes to a Manchester United or a PSG. Let them experiment. We don't have our attack sorted. We cannot be expending damn near 100 or 80 million euros on a player who's not going to be guaranteed to even show us what we are looking for right away.
What was I going to ask you? Is Declan Rice genuinely the best midfielder in the Premier League at the moment? I think so.
No.
Huh?
No,
Who's better than him?
No disrespect to Declan Rice. I love Declan Rice. If Rodgers fit, we have a problem.
No, I hear that. Because Rodri is Rodri, but for the last 2 years, he ain't been that in it. So if Rodri's fit,
have a Ballon d'Or
even though
winning
Rodri's not in his prime, he is. But yeah,
we have a Ballon d'Or winning midfielder in the league. Until he retires, Declan Rice is not the one.
Fair. Is Saliba the best centre half in world football right now?
It's between him, Pacho, or Gabriel, and yes, it is Saliba.
Has Gyökeres been worth the transfer fee already?
Yes, we won the league. He led us to a league title.
Which Arsenal player has the most to prove next season?
Arsenal player with the most to prove next season is going to be Bukayo Saka.
You see, I knew you was going to go to say that. Me, I hate the fact that I don't agree, but I hate the fact that I do agree, because I could do a cop-out thing and bring other players. But for me, I know he's had injuries and whatnot. We believe in our boy. It's time to remind these brothers what you're capable of, man. What's another question, man?
Oh, and Odegaard.
Yeah.
I think injuries have affected both of them, but that's the main reason.
Especially at Saka's pace, man. Like I'm starting to believe the BS about injuries have taken his pace and stuff. Saka, you need to remind me of what you're on as well. Who's been our most important player? And what I mean by that is, this ain't gonna make sense, yeah. But if you were to take them out of this team, would we have achieved with what we did? If that makes sense. It's and this is why I asked, because I don't think we hype Raya enough.
We don't have anybody in our team that can do what he does.
Yeah. And the same goes for Saliba and Gabriel, even though there's been times we've been without them. But then I feel I have to say Rice as well. But that's what I mean. It'll probably be between them.
Well, if we're going into a crucial game,
because Raya and Kepa are dead.
If we're going into a crucial game, we can somewhat circumvent the missing of Rice for a game or two. But Raya, we can't circumvent.
I'd rather risk not having a keeper than Rice, you know. I just don't feel comfortable about Rice.
I don't feel comfortable with what do you call it? Kepa, because I've seen him.
But this is why I agree with you.
I seen him concede 2 goals to Kairat, bro. I'm sorry. We're not winning nothing with him if he's conceding 2 goals to Kairat.
But these are the conversations. You see how we just said Raya, Kepa, Saliba,
most
Gabriel.
Important for me is
this is why I want to talk about my attackers now.
Let me give you my reasoning. Most important for me is the player who's the most irreplaceable in the squad with what we have to our disposal. That's
I couldn't even answer that, because I hear you. That applies to Raya. That applies to Rice. That probably applies to our centre halves.
No, not our centre halves. We can survive 1 or 2 games without Rice or
1 or 2 games. All right, let's say
we cannot survive. If Raya would have got injured, by the way, he played all 38 games in the league.
Mm-hmm.
If he was to be injured for 2 league games, I'm shitting bricks.
I back our defense and our whole defensive ethos. I back it. I don't think we're the same without Rice, because nobody's a good 6 like that on his kind of level. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable. Like, it was Aston Villa or Chelsea kind of fixtures. We never had them in it, and we were poor. But yeah,
we beat Aston Villa 4-1. If Raya's not there, we don't beat them 4-1.
To be fair, we beat Real Madrid home and away with Kivior. True. But then I do think Igal's right. No, Raya, you're in trouble. But I would back my defense and my defensive ethos with Kepa versus whoever could be put in midfield.
Who's the biggest? The franchise.
But then not having Raya fucks up the distribution as well.
Let me ask you this. Who's the dynasty started after you player for Arsenal?
Say that again.
Who's the dynasty starts after you player for Arsenal?
So who kicked off the dynasty, basically?
Like, let me give you an example. For Liverpool, Coutinho kicked off the dynasty because he left.
Mm-hmm.
So who for Arsenal is the player who the dynasty doesn't start with you, but it starts after you?
Fucking hell, gal, man. That's a good question.
Are you a basketball fan? Because I can give you an example in basketball.
Half-heartedly. Chicago
Golden State Warriors don't start winning their league titles if they don't get rid of Monte Ellis and let Curry do his thing.
I don't know, man, because we've had some fallen soldiers. Like
the person in the chat said it. The person in the chat said it.
Who?
Ramsdale.
Jesus. Ramsdale.
We don't win the league
Yeah,
without
because we need to
Red.
upgrade on him. Yeah. And that was, you know what? I have to give Arteta credit, yeah, because obviously in hindsight, we did want Raya the summer. We got Ramsdale. It didn't bang. Life goes on. But at the time we signed Ramsdale, not everybody was on par with that because it didn't look like we needed a keeper. I'm sure we got PFA, but that's why I rate the manager because there was, to us normal fans, there was no need to improve at that. Everyone can see it works now. Respectfully to Ramsdale, Newcastle want another goalie. You know, Ramsdale, you're welcome back if you want to sit on the bench, you know, but yeah, man. Kepa does make defenders nervous.
Somebody said Partey. You can't say Partey.
I would say Zinchenko. I'd say Zinchenko. Because I think I hear you with the Ramsdale thing. I think Zinchenko kind of kicked off this inverted thing. But I remember sitting there and crying, oh, we can't really create without a left back. We still have elements of that inverted stuff. But I think that I think Arteta looked and said, yo, you know what? We need strong 1v1 defenders in a similar way that Pep has an interview where they won the Champions League and he's speaking about that. I think moving away from them, arguably Jesus as well. I mean, Jesus is unfortunate that the injuries killed him, but these are the conversations we need. I wouldn't say Zubimendi shit, my guy. I would like Anderson. We know we ain't spending no 100 million. The gal's always on point. It's just people like to not listen, people. I only get the best, man. And it just made sense. Gal's been here when we've been in the trenches and we're not looking where to turn. So now that we flipping won the Premier League, it's only right we have a chilled out conversation, man. Like that, you know what? I have to big up Mikel Arteta as well. Putting Rice back in that 6, getting Lewis Skelly running the side, taking Zubi out. I would say it's too little, too late to a degree.
So would you say Zinchenko? Really?
I'd say Zinchenko because it forced us to get away from a left back just being in a team, no matter how crappy his 1v1 defensively, just because he can create. Like, I think you look at what we did after that, the players might not be able to do Zinchenko inverted stuff to his level, but his Zinni's up here for that stuff. They're down here. And then defensively, apologies, they're all up here. I would say that. I'd honestly say that. If I didn't, I make you right with the Ramsdale one. But if I just had to have another answer, just so we don't have the same thing, I'd actually say it. Looking back at that, Tierney weren't overhyped, but yeah, with the Tierneys and the Ramsdales, these are players that fans love in it. So they're always gonna be unpopular decisions. And even Raya, there was a point Raya looked shaky. I remember looting away a few years ago, and since then, my man's gone from strength to strength, man.
So who cost us more points that lost us the league title? Partey, Ramsdale, or Zinchenko? Has to be Zinchenko, you're right.
I think they're all equally. No, I wouldn't say Partey. I think everybody has to hold corn in it, but I wouldn't say Partey. Probably Zinni, man. And I'm being biased because like Zinni started crying at Anfield, didn't it? Like I just knew we weren't gonna get where we needed to. Although I'll be fair to Zinni, I'm sure that first season we actually had a great defensive record. And I remember, I don't know why this always stands out, but I remember we had a great game away at Chelsea at the Bridge defensively. I know it's mad to say, innit? Like, and as for Thomas Partey, at the end of the day, you left, we won the league. Zubi's coming, we've won. When you win, you can paint the agendas, man. So it is what it is. We don't need Anderson. We need a box-to-box creative midfielder. You can make a case of an 8. You can make a case of a 6. That's you know what, Igal, because I know you're pressed for time. That's the best question to ask you. Lastly, 8 or a 6. Not one of those multifunctional players, which is ideal. You can have a 6, maybe 50% of what Declan Rice is, or you could have an 8, tempo dictator. Which one would you go for? Because I think there's a case of both.
Repeat that again. I'm kind of.
You could get a 6 because, like, to deputize for Rice, or you could get an 8 that could dictate the tempo. You can't get one that's multifunctional because we would love that. You can make a case of both, but would you go for a 6 or an 8? If you could only bring in one midfielder. Big up Lewis Skelly, by the way.
I'm getting a ball playing 6. Like I think Tonali can play.
If you go grab a Tonali, I'd say yes, because now I can rest Rice.
Yeah. Not only that, you can. It gives you the opportunity to play him and Rice or him without Rice.
You can flex.
Yeah, and I think Tonali and Zubimendi could even play in the same team. It's a very technically. It's a player who gives us the passing range. We don't have too many players who have the passing range this season and have the ability to do what a Granit Xhaka was doing. And I think Tonali is of that ilk.
I'm not going to lie. I did a stream with a Newcastle fan a few weeks ago, and I put that same question about Tonali. He doesn't really rate his long passing range. You know, he said it's a bit short is all right. Now, I didn't subscribe to it and believe it, but I always do take in a bit of, like, obviously my man's watching him week in, week out. But I want Tonali purely because you got an engine. I love Adam Wharton. I just don't think we go for that profile at this moment in time. Who wouldn't want Alex Scott? That's a myth. Szoboszlai, I don't know if he leaves Liverpool. Bawardi is more than welcome, but I don't know if there's any real elements of truth. We'll have to see him playing for Morocco at the World Cup. I don't know, man. I'd say the priority for me, just purely because I think we've had this discussion as Arsenal fans too often, a left winger. That left wing needs to be sorted now. Like next season, we don't need to talk about that. Get me my blockbuster left winger. If Trossard or Martinelli are still here and the option of Eze, etc., it'd be great. My hot take is I'd love to have a conversation about Rio and Goma of Liverpool, but that's all FIFA-y, man. Igal, what content have you got?
You know what my take on that?
Go on.
Bayern are upset at Liverpool for trying to get Elise. So what their revenge to them is to try to unsettle Rio.
If they get him, I mean, Liverpool will be smoking something special to get rid of that guy.
Because how are they telling them, oh, we want you as our fifth? Liverpool's telling Rio, we want you as our fifth winger in the team. But then Bayern's like, yo, you'll be the backup to Diaz. Come here.
Obviously, you're gonna gamble on that, innit? Especially because of their track record, and they've even got a couple of young players in and around their first team.
Obviously, Liverpool doesn't want to sell, but if they get the players' heads turned, what is Liverpool gonna do? They're gonna be like, yo, our players' heads turned. We might as well get some money back.
True. We'll have to see, man.
And it's big time revenge for all the Salah leaving Elise talk last season.
Karma's a dish best well served, man. I mean, sooner rather than later, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we're sitting here on either channel or whatever, and we've signed some players. But I know Egal's pressed for time. We don't want to waste his time. So, Egal, broski, as usual, appreciate you for tuning in. Where can people find you? What have you got to come out? His channel is in the title if you're too lazy, so go subscribe over there. But let's hear it from the guy himself, man.
Bro, I've just been having fun on social media the last couple of days. Today, I keep having fun.
I keep retweeting.
I just been having fun. Check out my Twitter, guys. My Twitter is EGTV You'll see videos of Arshavin dancing. What do you call it? I'm not even joking. The guy's hilarious.
That's why I know. People think you're making shit up. You're not joking.
Then on TikTok, Egal Talks Football on TikTok, Egal Talks Football on YouTube. I'm just running revenge, looking at all the rivals' stupid remarks all season. And just
dig up all the files and spare nobody, bro. Because when it's us, we get shown no mercy, bro.
Yeah, and then of course I'm gonna be doing a lot of World Cup coverage, so you guys can check out that also. I've already done my World Cup preview, and then I need to go do some TikToks and shorts on the World Cup. It's just I'm pressed for time, bro. I don't know how you have time to do so many videos nowadays. I'm
just gotta fucking do it, bro. Just gotta fucking do it. Like if there's 10 minutes, I'm gonna do it in 10 minutes. If I got an hour, I got an hour. Like, because I always find myself, if I'm doom scrolling on TikTok, wherever I am in this world, then I've got time to do it in it. Just gotta do it, man. I try and set myself a weekly target. Like if I want to bring out 3 videos, I make sure that's done in it. Like, and then just hold yourself to that standard. That's it. Yeah. Literally. And that's literally it. But yeah, people, you know where to find Egal. Egal, on behalf of myself, appreciate you. Can't do it without you lot in the comments. So yeah, big up you lot. Go and subscribe to Egal. Go and check out his content, people. And for now, up the Gunners. We're Premier League champions. People, we're out. Egal, stay blessed, my boy.
No more Netflix FC.
Huh? Say that again?
No more Netflix FC, chat.
We're prime time, baby. Corner boys in the building. Always just like, Egal, big up that.
Like